have to burp myself?
Please.
It works. Still works.
I feel like you burped the back.
No, I can go front or back. Lord knows. Side to side. I'm like the Wonka Vader.
You are the Wonka Vader.
I'm gonna be that for Halloween.
Not the
Front ways
Wonka.
and back ways. I'm
What
gonna
would
be the
you
Wonka Vader in like
do?
assless chaps.
Sexy Wonka Vader.
Well, that's implying the Wonka Vader wasn't sexy.
It was see-through.
If I was the Wonka Vader, what would you be?
I would be the
golden egg.
It would be every Oompa Loompa.
All of them.
It would have like the dolls on the pole.
Just hold
Oompa
on. Oh God. What could Matt be? Mike TV.
Or just like the chocolate bar.
The tunnel that holds the chocolate.
With Augustus Gloop stuck in it.
That is perfect. I'm obsessed with that. What are you going to be? An obscure object from Willy Wonka. What are you going to be? The bed.
The fan that they almost
Grandpa Joe's bed. Yeah.
The boat.
The boat, and you'd have to have a screen.
Yes.
Tony can be, he can be Willy Wonka. he can be Willy Wonka. Fine.
Fine. If that's what you want.
We win. He did not even ask for this. He's not even here. But we would make him Willy Wonka.
He would be Willy Wonka.
What about Joey?
Joey would be Augustus Gloop and like be baby Bjorn on the mat.
The thought of Joey, blonde, blue-eyed Joey, baby Bjorn.
We're back.
And deader than ever.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Tamara.
And this is Ghoul Beans. Hi.
You know what I have realized that we forgot in our episodes that we've totally abandoned?
What?
Why do we care? Why are we scared?
Correct.
I cannot remember the last time we did that.
We've kept so much, you know. We give them the old
Razzle
razzle-dazzle.
Why do you care? Why are we scared?
You're asking the big questions here. Okay, why do we care? I care about this episode so much because we tried to record and it did not work. And it's sad because it was such a good episode. So last week, the lovely people at home did not get to hear our beautiful banter, the super scary stories, which honestly works out well for us.
Yeah, we have some, now we're like able to plan things out better.
Yeah.
Because it was so scary.
Yeah, that we're actually going deeper, which I'm horribly upset about. But that's why I care.
And that's why you're scared as well.
That very well.
Why do I care about this episode? It's because I had the scary stories.
Yeah.
And it was so tragic that they're gone, but not
Yeah.
forever because they're coming back. So how have you been?
So how have I been?
You went to Minnesota.
Yes. I went to Minnesota now 2 weeks ago. Went to a festival there and got wildly too high. Had a magical experience with adult substances, and I definitely thought I was going to die. So yeah, so the person I went with also took too much of the adult substances, and we just lost it, man. Like, we were fine, everything was good,
Like,
but
you were safe.
we were so safe, and it was honestly the perfect conditions because we were in Minnesota, so like everyone's
Ideal.
very nice there for no reason, and then it was empty, so no one really cared that we were standing around losing our minds.
Oh, okay.
So we've done this before, and we only took like one piece. It came in a chocolate bar,
Mm.
and we only took one piece, and we didn't feel anything. Like, we were like, oh, I don't really feel anything, blah blah blah. So,
Yeah, I've like, not to cut you off. I'm just thinking about like, I feel like people have said it depends on your size, your metabolism, if you've eaten, like
Yeah.
a lot of different factors.
I think that's the problem in general with like edibles and stuff, right? But so instead of one, I took 3.
You said triple it.
I said, why not? Then they took 4.
Because you were looking to have like an actual magical experience, not like a
No,
feeling
babe.
good. Oh,
I was looking to feel good.
you felt bad.
I felt extremely horrible for a lot of the time.
Fuck.
So yeah, we took it, and then we were late, classic me, and so we ran, like we didn't run, but we walked briskly over to the concert venue, and then I kind of forgot that we took it, so we had nosebleeds, of course, and it was in the baseball stadium there.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't pay, like, I'm taking the cheap seats. It's a concert. You're gonna hear the sound no matter where you're at.
Heard.
But it's actually different. It's very different. It's not true. So we were up in the nosebleeds, and like, I guess I started to get like how it kind of feels if like I have a bad like sinus infection. Like, I was kind of feeling like draining and stuff. I couldn't stop yawning. And I was like, I don't know why I'm like so tired right now. And the guy that was playing was just like whamming on the guitar, and it just was like really making me not happy.
It was overstimulating.
Yeah, and so I turned my head to talk to the person I was with, and like all of a sudden the world just like slowed.
Whoa.
Literally.
Damn.
And I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, I think it's hitting me.
Because I've been there, obviously, with like an edible,
Yeah,
like THC.
yeah.
Because when I take too much THC, I've taken too much now. There are 2.
I told you.
Fuck.
There's gonna be a story before we know it.
Because when I've taken too much and
Yeah.
indulged too greatly,
Yeah.
I start talking to dead relatives, and it's rough.
Wait, for real? Like, you
Kinda.
can see them?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna go back to that. I'm gonna finish up my story
okay.
really quick, and then we're definitely gonna talk about that.
Okay.
'Cause I've never known that.
Alright.
So anyway, yeah, we had. They were. God, you really distracted me.
Sorry.
No, I'm very excited. So we took too much, and then I looked in the mirror when I went to the bathroom, and that was a mistake. Don't do
Horrible
that.
mistake.
Looked at the ground, it started moving, and I was like, okay, I think we're okay. And then
I think we're okay.
as I literally, so because the seats are like looking down onto the stadium, I was like, I literally need to get to solid ground. And like,
Yeah.
went to like a platform and was holding on to the railing. And this guy comes over, and he's like, do you guys want to go sit on the floor? And we were like,
He was like, let me save them.
so he gave us floor seats, which is incredible, and I didn't get to properly process that until like 5 hours later when I was on
Yeah.
the floor, and I was like, how did we get these seats? But no, so we found different places to stand. We found that concrete, a solid concrete, was exactly what
slab.
we needed. Yes. I was like, this is my safety zone. The person that I was with was like, we need to find where our souls need to hover. We need to be each other's spirit guides. And I was like, okay, can we hover at this concrete pillar?
And he was like, perfect.
I was like, this is where I feel safest right now. And they're like, no, unfortunately, this is temporary. I was like, okay.
Oh, fuck.
Safety is temporary. I'll tell you the funniest. So it lasted, they Googled, will I ever be okay again, basically.
Everyone all the time on any drug. Like, am I gonna die? Like, is my brain gonna be stuck like this forever?
Does it stop ever? So it said, like, for the amount that we took, it should be like just 3 hours. And we were like, okay, we can survive 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's fine. I've never had a longer 3 hours in my life. I feel like I was in the stadium for days.
Oh, yeah. That happens to you, though. That's a common occurrence. That
Yeah.
time gets really fucked up for
Yeah. Yeah. That's me.
Mr. Time, man.
Mr. Time is an illusionist, and I love a good illusion.
You fall for its tricks every time.
So, God, what was I? Oh, the funniest part was when it was happening. It was that roller coaster feeling of like you have no control, like it's happening to you now.
Mm.
And I was like, I don't want this to like, I don't want this inside me anymore and stuff like that. And they literally turned to me and they had like a very stiff jaw, like wasn't really, I can't like describe it. Yeah. And so like kind
this?
of, yeah. And throughout the time, like my thing was, my fear was that I was dying, of course. And their fear was that they would be perceived.
Yeah. I don't want anybody looking at me.
Exactly. I don't want anyone to look at me. I don't want you to run off and talk to people because then I'll have to talk to people.
Because then they're going to know.
Yeah. Or like I'll just have to speak. I'll have to interact.
Oh, okay.
So
like were they not even able to form sentences?
They were forming sentences and having conversations in their head. I could fully see it. And then I'd be like, what? And they'd be like, we're talking too much. I'm like, you haven't spoken to me in like 20 minutes.
Who's weak?
I haven't said a word for this entire
He's like,
set.
shut up. You're killing me.
He's like, Kelly, they will know. And I'm like, no one is around. We're in the bathroom right now.
Oh my God.
No, so at one point, yeah, I was like, I don't want this inside me. And it was right away. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And they like did the little thing where they like kind of mouthed something. And I was like, what? And they're like, it's inside you.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The drugs.
Oh.
Their response, their comforting response to I don't want this inside of me and I don't want to do this anymore was, it's inside of you now. Okay.
You're like
great.
trying to find the deeper message.
It just was like the deeper messages were fucked.
Yeah, it's that you got to ride it out now, babe.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was really funny, and I think like 20 times I was like, "This is the worst of it. We've definitely peaked." I was wrong.
Up.
I was wrong every time. So up until about the second to last set, I think there were 5. We were situated against concrete, and we were just.
Concrete was your savior.
It was, and yeah. So in normal like baseball stadiums where I've been to concerts, they're very much like go to your seat. No one said that. Like we ran into a guy, and he was like, "Finally, you guys moved."
He's like, "Are you okay?"
So it was really funny. Yeah, and we were fine by the second. Well, we were definitely still high the whole time, but like
even when you skedaddled home.
Probably, but like it was so much better than what we had been all day that it was like, this is fine. This is probably what we were aiming to be at. Really.
So, like, how much time did it feel like had passed?
I honestly felt like it was 8 hours, but realistically, it was like from 3 to 6, probably.
Whoa.
Like 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So it was 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I felt like, you know, because like I was standing against the wall, like pushing myself against the wall, like feel the concrete, you're safe, blah, blah, blah. Like my knees hurt so bad by the end of the night. Like we didn't sit down at all either because we finally went to the floor when we were feeling better.
You have arthritis?
Yeah, I do. My knees are old lady knees.
Yeah, it's, well.
I was a catcher.
When you were.
I still am. But the funniest thing that happened is we were feeling a little better. And so we hadn't eaten since breakfast, and like they were still like clenching their jaw, and I was like, okay, well, we can't get a lollipop here, but we can get ice cream. So we went up to get ice cream, and we were both like, I think we're coming down from it. Like I think we're normalizing.
But that's not a common thing for that.
It's not, but I think it was
like
just
stress.
like the tension. Yeah. Because it's not like they were like grinding their
or like
teeth.
shaking their jaw.
Yeah,
They were just
no.
clenched.
It was very much, it was just clenched, and they were like doing that a lot, like cleaning their gums almost.
Like a nervous thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was just like a coping mechanism.
When you're at your most anxious, that's what you're doing.
Exactly. Now I know. Now I know the warning signs.
Yeah.
But It was really funny because we got ice cream and I got a cone and they got like a root beer float. And it was my bad for saying, like, try this in front of another human, knowing the state we were in. But it just like tasted so good. I was like, oh my God, you have to try this. Haven't paid
in front
yet.
of the cashier.
In front of the cashier, there's a line behind us. There's a guy that was like, I don't know if it's because we were high and we looked high or if it's because we were the sexiest people in the state.
Probably both.
Because literally, I think I told you this, but like, we are Minnesota 20s. Like, and I've never felt better in my life.
But you'd have to be in Minnesota.
For sure. No, there are positives and negatives. The negative is that you are in Minnesota. But for like a little weekend, like ego boost, I encourage everyone to go to Minnesota. You will be the hottest person there. I don't know what you look like. You will be the hottest person there. But so we were in line, or we got the ice cream, and the guy was just kind of standing, like hovering, staring at us. And then the cashier was like, okay, and ringing it up. And I was like, oh my God, you have to try this. This tastes incredible. And they literally like went to go lick it and hovered for half a second right above like the ice cream, chomped it with their little teepers. I literally have a picture of the ice cream.
Oh
with
my
the
God,
two
no,
little
I
teeth
have to
marks.
see it.
I'll show you. Literally, it was like a sneak attack.
I wonder if they remember having the intrusive thought.
We died laughing, and we were like, okay, we should probably just like pay.
Like, why the fuck would you bite that?
No, I was just laughing so hard, and the cashier didn't know what to do. She was just like, it's gonna be like $17
For that nibble.
for that nibble.
The nibble of the ice cream. For the listeners at home, it literally looks like, you remember when Squidward took the bite of the Krabby Patty?
Literally.
It's literally that.
That's exactly what it was, except very quick. So yeah,
But you had a good time.
It was so good. Again, like the thing was so undersold. We literally got floor seats, like, which was great. Nice wide open space away from the rooftops, which was not helping me. No one cared that we weren't sitting in our seats. It was a really, really
chill.
Yeah, for what we did to ourselves, the stupid act we had, it was perfect case scenario.
Yeah. Because worst case scenario, you're at Soldier Field and you're at like a Metallica concert.
Right, Metallica, shoulder to shoulder, like can't get up, can't move. It's
I would have gone
hot.
to sleep.
I would have gone home.
I wouldn't have made it down the Soldier Field nosebleeds are 90 degrees.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I would have done.
I would have had to sit on my butt.
It was so hard because like having my eyes open was bad, but closing them was worse. Because then that's the problem with the nosebleeds. It was like so easy to pay attention to
how high you are.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Literally and figuratively. It was fun. I would do it again. I would definitely prefer a spirit guide.
Someone who's not.
Yeah, I think that was the problem, right? I mean, we did a really good job of helping each other when we needed it. Like I said, my thing was I was going to die, so they very much like, if they did the thing where they were talking and I was like, what? And they like didn't want to talk or anything, they'd be like, you're doing great. You're doing amazing. And I'd be like, okay, great. Thank you. And my thing was like, since they were afraid I was going to run off, I just like would touch them and be like, I'm accounted for. And so I did that throughout like the whole time. And they were like,
you were not going to run off.
I was like, I never want to leave, first of all, this concrete slab. Second of all, you. Like,
yeah. My nightmare is that I'm out there alone.
My nightmare is you walk away and I have to fend for myself.
I would sit down.
Away.
I would just sit in a chair and just wait and just not even look at my phone, just like sit.
I just like didn't know what to. They went to the bathroom and I literally like wandered for a second. I was like, I actually can't be alone because I will wander off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I did. I made friends in the bathroom.
Oh, but that's normal.
Their fears weren't unwarranted. It's just like at the time they were afraid of it, I couldn't even like look up. So it's like, you don't have to worry about that right now.
So did you feel like you were like falling?
I felt like I was like, you know, the feeling of like passing out, like where you're getting a head rush. It was that the whole time. It did come in waves though. So like there was like that feeling that was mixed with nausea. And then like right after that, it was like body tingles and very numb and fun. And I was like, okay, I can handle this. And then it like would be the like yawning and stuff. And that's how I knew the bad wave was coming. So Because that's the difference, right? Like THC is very much like you're high and you're riding it and then it comes down. Like that's how it works. What I did, it comes in waves. It ebbs and flows.
Are you kidding?
Is it a thunderstorm?
This would be the third time that we've been.
Wait, are the sirens going off? What?
It's actually like, look at
Yeah, there's supposed to be like severe thunderstorms tonight.
every time.
It's something about our spooky. Oh my God, we're talking about spooky stuff. Shall we conjure?
No. Never.
I was just kidding.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Me
love
too.
the thunder.
And there's also like light. That's how I knew it was like.
I wish I could see.
Yeah, there's one specific memory I have of. So normally, at that point, I could take like 30 milligrams
Damn.
and feel high as a kite and totally fine and normal.
Really?
But like not losing my grip on reality high.
Okay.
You
Like
know?
me in our camping.
Yeah, like
scenario.
you off of a 10, it's me off of like 30. And that was at the beginning of your journey. That's probably different now.
I don't know. Remember literally when we went to the cabin?
That's different. We were
weeks ago?
consistently smoking.
Yeah.
It was a while ago. I ordered like a Valentine's Day kit from
cute.
the person that we purchased things from.
Yeah.
And one of them was like 100 milligrams, but it was 2 separate gummies. So it was like 50 and 50. And you like have to like bite half.
Was it a big gummy?
No.
It was just like a little gummy bear?
It was like maybe the size of a nickel.
That's 50 milligrams?
Yes.
Oh my
So-
God, that's so dangerous.
Well, it was in a 100 milligram pack, and it was 50 and 50. And we were at that point, again, like I was saying, I'm talking about me and my partner. We were taking like 30.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's Valentine's Day.
Let's get a little crazy.
Yeah, like the last time we took 30, it was fine. But this one was not from a dispensary.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't think about that. It was from California.
Yeah.
And things are different over there.
Things are different.
And things are
Medical
regulated.
grade.
Well, I mean, even the dispensaries out here, it's different than the dispensaries out here.
Yeah.
It's like the regulations are a lot less.
Yeah.
And we both got so high that my partner had to really like maintain stability because I was weeping. I was like time traveling. I was literally
No.
yes, and I was describing it in like exact detail. It was wild. We were at I was time traveling. And you were like trying to like not time travel with me. You're like, I don't want to go there. I wasn't trying to get you to go there either. And my partner is sitting right next to me. I was literally like it was like I was 10 again. Like I was having a memory from being in my very childhood home at like a Sunday dinner, and it's like summer, and the screen door was open, and like all my family was sitting at the table, and I like was literally recalling like the details of a deep memory that I didn't remember having.
Yeah.
And that lasted for 3 hours.
You were at that kitchen table
No,
for 3 hours?
I wasn't. Time started getting a little bit patchy, and I went, I'm going to get too high. And they were like, I'm already too high.
What do you mean you're going to get too high?
So, no, I'm saying like after we took it,
Yeah.
about 40 minutes passed,
Yeah.
because you have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was already at like a 30 milligram high,
Yeah.
which
You were
would
like, this isn't
the
good.
peak of a 30 milligram high for me back then.
Yeah.
And I turned to my partner. I was like, I know that I'm gonna get too high. I know this is not the end for me,
Yeah.
and it's gonna get ugly. And they were like, I'm already too high.
I'm already there.
Yeah, we sat on the couch, and then it peaked for like an hour
Oh
and
my
some
God.
change, and that's how long I was at the dinner table describing my life.
Oh my God.
Like time was passing with me at the dinner table.
That's horrifying.
It was scary when it was happening, and then after it was done, it wasn't bad. I wasn't even able to enjoy the come down, because sometimes whenever you're just like coming down off an edible, you're like, I'm just giggly still. I'm getting a little sleepy. I was like, it's gonna happen again. Like it gave me like. So then from then on, we didn't have edibles for a long time because I was like
For
scared.
sure.
And then, I mean, now we only ever take like a 20 milligram, maybe.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was one of like the scary. It was scary in the moment
Yeah.
because I was experiencing it. But like as I was coming down, I was like, that wasn't honestly not that bad. It was just like horrifying then.
For sure.
Yeah.
How did they, like, what was their experience
They were,
like?
from what I've been told, freaking out the whole time, but couldn't openly freak out because I was freaking out. Like I was
Right.
literally like crying. So they were like, I think freaking out and also asking me grounding questions.
That's a really tough position to be in.
Yeah, but they were so good. And then remember when we were both like down, I was like, how did you do that? Like you were not that high. And they were like, I was literally so high, I was having a panic attack. But I was also like, you were grounded. They were grounding themselves by also being like, okay, and is it dark outside? Like asking me about like what's going on.
Yeah.
So I also felt like I was like alive still.
Yeah.
And I was like, no one has ever died from weed. No one has ever died.
But I might just like.
I'm like,
Google
it's gonna be
search
me.
it.
I'm gonna be the first person to fucking die from weed.
I know, that's the worst feeling.
That's the worst it's ever been, and it's never been that bad ever again.
I think like, so realistically, I don't think like my high at the concert was that bad, right? Like I don't think I was that bad of a high. I think it's because I didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? It wasn't like
Unfamiliar territory.
Right, it wasn't weed. So it's not like I know exactly what it's like to feel too high with weed.
Yeah.
And so like I can prepare because it's going to suck.
Yeah.
But at least I know it.
You were too high, but you hadn't been too high with that substance.
Exactly. And so like I didn't know what the peak of too high with this substance was.
Yeah.
I didn't know, and because it is more of a hallucinogenic, I was like, it could go much further. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And so I didn't know, there was no comfort. It was like, I literally have no idea what's going to happen.
And we only get horror stories, like, whenever even from fucking Dare, like the horror stories of like, you could get stuck there forever.
I literally never knew that, and so I'm glad I didn't know that.
It's not real. It's like they're talking about LSD.
Yeah.
Like taking too big of a tab.
I was really lucky with the person that I was at that our waves seemed to be unsynced. Like mine hit first, and then as I was like, I don't like this, they were like, and now I'm getting very high.
Yeah.
And so when we were at the worst, we were able to at least like kind of do that, like kind of ground each other, and then we were like, actually, I'm going to have to go to the concrete right now. But you're doing fine.
Yeah. And that's okay. Let's walk to the concrete before I start having a panic attack.
Exactly. I'm yawning right now, so let's get to concrete. Oh my God, literal thunderstorm happening right now. I love that.
This is the third time that we've been at Matt and Kelly's house in a month, and it has tornado thunderstormed every single time.
Yeah.
Weirdly. We have not, I was going to say, we didn't talk about the coffee yet.
Give us the rundown of where you got it from.
So this is a coffee shop it's like a Guatemalan coffee shop in Chicago. It's on Belmont. It's called Cultura Cafe. And this is, I have said it before on the pod, my favorite horchata lot.
It's so good.
It's so unbelievable. This little Guatemalan lady, she puts her pussy in this drink every time. It's incredible.
Literally dunks it.
Thank you.
More, please.
Dunk it twice.
So good. It's because horchata, I feel like a lot of horchata lattes that I've had, specifically by like, the white girl cafes, like it's very cinnamon milk.
Yeah, it's not actually like you can taste the espresso.
Matt's like, hell yeah, give me
cinnamon
some
milk. Cinnamon milk. Not me. This tastes like espresso and it's like cinnamon and like condensed milk.
It's
you can
like
taste everything.
Raw cinnamon, it's not like that.
She does.
Yeah.
She has it like in a shaker. It's like chunky.
It's not like the like cinnamon sugar. I don't feel like, or the pumps from Starbucks.
Even if it was cinnamon sugar, wherever you're getting this cinnamon, lady. And they also sell the best empanadas I've ever had in my life. That's not a joke at all. We say that all the time. They're so motherfucking good. Our favorites are the guava empanada. It's like if a croissant was also an empanada. And I also like the savory one of like, it's like chicken and chorizo and like potato.
Oh my God,
so
that
fucking
sounds so
good.
I love savory.
They're
empanadas.
so buttery.
I don't think I've actually had like a sweet empanada.
Oh my God.
I'll have to try one. From this, we should get them again.
It's so good. And they have a Nutella latte. They have
that's, ladies and gentlemen of the pod, that's how good this horchata lot is. We recorded last week and we reviewed this coffee shop, and they accidentally gave us 2 horchata lattes, whereas Tamara was gonna get the horchata. I was gonna get the Nutella so we could give a little flavors. And no Nutella was ordered this time because the horchata is so good.
I'm not kidding. Like I wish more people knew, and I'm glad nobody knows, but I'm also like sad nobody knows.
Right.
This fucking coffee shop, and I don't even think they market themselves as like a coffee shop. It's like a Wi-Fi internet cafe.
Incredible.
Like, so inconspicuous. Green Day went there. They have an award from like Time Out magazine.
Really?
Yeah, like when Green Day was touring there, they went all the way out to fucking, that's like Avondale still, I think. And they like traveled intentionally all the way over there for them.
Oh my god.
I'm telling you, the empanadas are unreal.
Okay,
They're
I'll have to
unreal.
get the empanada
And
next
there's
time.
only the busiest it's ever been when I've gone in there, which concerns me because I'm like, I hope they stick around. There's only ever been like 10 people max every time I've ever been in there.
That is nice for lines, but you do want them to stick
I
around.
know. So guys, go if you're a Chicagoan or within like 45 minutes of Chicago. It's literally worth it. It's so fucking good.
What's the name again?
Cultura Cafe or Cultura Cafe. They're so good.
Oh my god. Yes.
And it's just like this lady and her kid.
Oh my god.
And she's whipping it up. It's so good.
It's incredible. Okay. So go. I don't mean to cut you off, but go. World, go.
Okay.
No, not you go.
Oh, I was like,
the world, the listeners.
hard
need
transition.
To visit. Hard, aggressive, I'm unwelcome.
Illinois General Hospital for the insane. I was like, I'm sorry. What the fuck?
No,
but literally go to Cultura.
No, yeah, like, go right now. I'll see you there.
Last week, when I was doing research for the episode, which you'll hear about in the coming months.
Yo, guys, just so you know, like, it was really fucking scary.
It was so scary.
I had goosebumps for an hour straight, and then you guys just left, and I was like, and now I'm alone.
And I just heard about the scariest shit I've ever heard.
I'll be haunted by a ghost tonight.
Children.
Stop.
Okay,
go ahead. You were doing the research.
We were cleaning out, so like there's a huge storage closet space thing that used to be a classroom that like we cleaned out because they like put a wall in between. We have a window. It's a whole thing. We cleaned it out so that we can have that as our new office space. Our office space used to be shared, and to like maximize space in the school, we're like, we'll clean it out, we'll reorganize everything, we'll figure it out.
For sure.
And my boss was there, and my partner came to help us move this like big, humongous fucking file cabinet that was originally full of just like random shit, and we wanted it to be flush with the wall. So I was pushing it, Maria showed up, and then we pushed it together, and it was great. My boss was, I don't want to mention her by name, but she was like moving more stuff out, and she was also had a lot of shit to do on the computer. She had done the majority of it the day before. Like, I don't want to paint her as lazy. She was going to leave, and we were all going to leave basically at the same time. And I was like, hey, when you find your phone, because she had lost her phone, she had been looking for her phone for like, she hadn't had it since like 11 o'clock.
Damn.
I know. And I said, when you find your phone, clock me out, because I can't clock out with the desktop because things were really moved around. And so she went to go to her gym class, and she's like, it's not in my car. I don't know where the fuck my phone is. She came back in to look for her shit. I get a call probably about 30 minutes after we left from her, and I answer the phone, and I'm like, oh, you found it? And she goes, bitch.
No. Whenever it starts with bitch, something horrible happened.
I love it. And I went, what? And she was like, can you guess where my phone was? And I said, in your purse, because her purse is an endless pit. It's crazy. And she said, no, it was in the file cabinet underneath a stack of books.
Shut up.
There are so many reasons that should not have happened. One, she had not been in the room with the file cabinet, except like the doorway. The books that I put in there, I put in there. Like, I put all the books in there by hand that day.
It was underneath the
stack of books
that you would have seen the phone.
So she told
Ew.
She told me her phone was at 1% when she found it, and that if it had not had any charge, she would never have found it, because that storage cabinet is to be closed because it has all this stuff that's not even ours. Like, we reorganized everything and put these basic music books in there so that they had somewhere to go. And it was like, okay, that's it. Like, we're done now. So if she had not had any kind of battery on her phone, we would have been fucked. Like, she would have been fucked.
Ew.
And yeah, she's like, I did the thing with her. She did the thing with her iPhone that you can do.
Oh, yeah,
Where it's like,
yeah.
find my phone.
Yeah.
And it was dinging. And she goes, where the fuck is it? And she said she had to
Ew.
go. And by the way, the file cabinet is not in the office. It's in a closet in the office. So,
No.
and it's huge. It's taller than both of you. Like,
Where's the office?
it's on the ground floor. So the ground floor also has random doors everywhere that during the school year are not open. Like, there's no, it's not open because a kid could definitely go in there and, like, suck a vape. Like, and they're endless. And even though you feel like you're in the basement because really you're on the ground floor and, like, all of the action's on the top 2 floors,
Yeah.
you're not, because there's more and more and more and doors that go. I mean, this is an old Chicago school. So the humongous boilers that are down there, like, they look like submarines. They're so big.
Damn.
Yeah. So it gets kind of spooky. And yeah, she said that, she's like, I heard it beeping from inside the file cabinet underneath a pile of books.
That is wild.
Yeah. And I went, oh my God, that's a ghost. Ghost, ghost, ghost city, ghost city, ghost city. And she was just laughing because she also knows that I, like, definitely believe in ghosts. She does too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't let her listen to the pod, though.
No?
Mm-mm.
Why?
I won't let anybody from work listen to the pod.
That's so funny. That's fair. Okay, should we get into our local lore? Should I go first?
I think I'll go first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So this episode is local lore, ladies and gents.
And for my local lore, I did a asylum that's very well known in Illinois. It's called the Bartonville Asylum. Ghost hunters have been there.
Ghost hunters?
Yeah. I also think Ghost Adventures has been there.
No, ghost hunters are my boys.
I know, that's why I was like, oh, look, Ghost Hunters. Every time I see them, I'm like, Ghost Hunters has been here. So,
hey, demons, it's your boy.
Not us.
No, I mean, unfortunately it is, and I don't like it. That's never what I wanted.
No, and we knew we'd get to that point where we're like,
I literally
hey,
shopped for EMFs on
for
the other day.
what we want to go do.
Yeah.
Or for the anniversary sode.
Both.
Yeah. So this asylum goes by multiple names.
Oh, God. Is it still around?
No, it was actually torn down in 2017. Perfect. So it went by the Illinois General Hospital for the Insane in 1902 and the Illinois Asylum for the Incurably Insane also in 1902, but it's part of the Peoria State Hospital.
That's like really aggressive.
Yeah. But actually, it was established in 1895, and it didn't open its doors until 1902. The original structure that was built in 1897 could not be used due to a compromised foundation from abandoned mine shafts. So it was built above mine shafts.
No.
Right. 33 buildings were built in a cottage system. So they were built and they, like, had connections into the shafts.
No.
But not like for use, but they just did. You know what I mean?
That's horrible. I bet those little doctors were scurrying around below as they, like, pitchforked people.
Among the buildings,
Ice picked was what I was looking
Pitchforked?
for. I'll kill ya.
among the buildings were a patient and caretaker housing, a store, a power station, and a communal utility building. The grounds consisted of 63 buildings, many of which were residential in nature and laid out in the traditional cottage plan, common for mental hospitals built in the early 20th century. The original main building was constructed on the Kirkbride plan.
Ah, that plan.
Very familiar with that.
Obviously.
There are only 12 of the 63 buildings left standing, and as of July 1st, 2019, they're all occupied. So the asylum itself was torn down in 2017, but yeah.
Thank you for seeing my face. I was like, what do you
Yeah.
mean they're occupied?
No, they are.
Shut up.
Well, as of 2019. The state cleared the land in 1897 and, under the direction of Superintendent George Zeller, began construction of a new hospital that opened in 1902. The Zeller called for a rededication of the hospital plan, housing patients in 33 individual cottage buildings with administrative, medical, and kitchen services centrally located. This cottage plan, also called the segregate plan, placed the old ideal of the singular self-contained asylum championed by Dr. Thomas Kirkbride in the 19th century with a campus that suggested free and open living for patients. So, This guy, Zeller, allegedly like reinvented what it meant to be in an asylum. Like he was like, they shouldn't be shackled, they should be free, like they should. He was actually known to let them wander the grounds and like leave the land.
Okay, so
And
we're
they came
pro
back.
Zeller. We're pro Zeller.
Yeah, and they came back.
Okay,
Yeah, so
I like that.
on February 10th,
We don't like those.
the hospital began operations. Patients at other hospitals that were considered incurable were transferred to Bartonville. So other asylums, if they had a patient that was severe enough, they would be like, fuck it, and just send them straight to Bartonville
Okay.
to like get rid of them.
I feel like Bartonville isn't good then. We'll see.
Yeah,
TBD.
TBD. In 1927, the hospital had over 2,000 patients, meaning it had 13,000 since it had opened.
Shit.
Notable patients include Bookbinder, who died in 1910. No one knew his name because he was mute. So when they asked him, he couldn't say anything. But he went by Book because he used to work in a printing house.
Was he insane because he was mute? Like, is that the standards back then? Like, you don't talk, so you're insane? I mean, that's pretty much how it was.
Yeah,
you
anything-
know, anything different.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
It's like he had a job and everything.
Yeah, he used to work in a
Oh, you don't
you're-
speak?
crazy person. Yeah, crazy.
You're crazy, girl.
Crazy girl. He eventually became the grave digger of
I don't
Bartonville
love this,
Asylum.
actually. Maybe I spoke too soon on his behalf.
I'm gonna go ahead and read the tale of the Bookbinder.
I feel like you should have gone second. This sounds scary.
There's a superstitious tale surrounding Old Book, is what they would call him, that is somewhat unusual amongst ghost stories in that it was reportedly witnessed by hundreds of people.
Ew.
The story goes that when Old Book died, his funeral was attended by hundreds of patients and staff members who had become witnesses to the ghostly phenomenon that was about to transpire. So, it's important to know that Old Book, when he was a grave digger, would dig the grave and go wait by this huge, like monstrous elm tree. He would just like respectfully stand to the side. And when they were lowering caskets, he would cry for them, like wail for them.
He was
Weep.
a whaler.
Yeah, he was
What's it called?
a banshee.
Yeah, a keener. A keener.
He would weep for them. He would like wail.
So he was a gravedigger at the asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like that, by the way.
So, it was attended by hundreds of patients and staff members who became witnesses to the ghostly phenomenon that was about to transpire. As workers were attempting to lower what should have been a heavy casket, they discovered that it instead felt empty. Suddenly, a crying sound echoed from the graveyard elm, from the tree. And everyone in attendance turned and looked, including Dr. Zeller, who later detailed Bookbinder and the surrounding events in his diary.
Shut up. He was like, yo, today was fucked up.
Dear diary, what the fuck just happened to me? I just witnessed an actual paranormal event with hundreds of other people.
Literally.
He was like a favorite amongst the staff.
Yeah.
They all claimed to have seen Old Book standing by the tree. They so believed it to be true that Zeller had the casket opened to ensure that Old Book still lay inside. As the lid was opened, the crying stopped, and Old Book's corpse was found undisturbed in the coffin. Days passed, and the tree began to die. Several of the ground's crewmen tried to remove the graveyard elm, or, as they called it, the crying tree.
Ew.
None of them were successful, citing the weeping emanating from the tree. One man even tried to cut it down with an axe, but when striking it on the side, terrible wailing would sound as if Old Book himself was being chopped.
Oh my God.
In later years, the elm was struck during a lightning storm and finally gone.
I just had a massive chill make me twitch.
The thought of hitting the tree and you hear the scream crying.
I just
Oh God, I actually got dry throat from that.
I'm so cold. Nipples could cut glass.
Old book.
I wonder when they like opened the casket, was it like heavy again? Ew, how gross.
Yeah.
Like all the people there, like
Yeah. His body was in it, and yeah.
that
It undisturbed. It felt light, is what a lot of the stories like describe it, like feeling empty, feeling light, like
Right.
nothing was in there, and turning, and then
That's so
the
horrible.
doctor who opened the fucking asylum
Was there
said,
to
"Open
see
it."
Yeah, no, of course. I mean,
Oh my god.
I wonder if that changed his perspective on maybe a couple people that were there. They're like, I can see dead people, and he's like, you're crazy, and then he's like,
Bitch,
oh
can you?
man,
I was
don't
about
know.
to say oppositely. Can you imagine being somebody who's like been admitted there, and then the doctor who sees you said, "Open the casket." Like
Right.
I would be like, I'm the sane one. You're like, he's lost it. This guy's crazy.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
So I have another patient story from somebody who was there. Her name is Rhoda Derry, and she grew up in Illinois. She was in love with a man named Charles Phoenix. Charles's mom hated Rhoda and her family because they were known to be associated with witchcraft. Obviously, Charles' mother forbade him to be with her.
Obviously.
Of course. When his mom found out that he intended on marrying her, she threatened to hex her. Very ironic.
Real ironic. Like, were they warring witch clans, or was she just like, well, there's only one fire against
there's
fire?
only one Bob Rohrman.
Not in my town.
I think that's what it had to be like. That's what her idea was. Like, if she's a witch, then I have to hex her.
So weird.
I agree. That's not the route I would have taken.
It's just like you have nothing to stand on then.
No ground to stand on.
It's just like I'd be like, okay, mom, like you can't be my mom now because now you're a witch.
You know, and this is the crucible all over again. So, because she was threatened by the mom, she began to feel like she grew a anxiety around witchcraft, and she grew fearful and claimed to start having like hallucinations.
Wait, was she a witch though?
Jury's out.
Was she like, I've actually never done witchcraft. That mom is cray.
Jury's out.
Okay.
She claimed to have seen the devil himself frequently after this event with the mom. So maybe she did hex her. Like, what if the mom, what if Miss Phoenix hexed her and was like, you know, whatever.
What if the mom was like
a witch?
Yeah, what if the mom was the witch and she's just like, you can't marry that nasty ass woman. She's a witch. You know, like anything. And like then the guy was like, I don't really care. And she's like, well, now I have to be the witch.
She was sent to multiple hospitals and was deemed incurable. When she was finally admitted into a hospital, she became violent. As a result, she was very often restrained. Once, she blinded herself after one of her episodes where she thought she was seeing the devil.
Shut up, that's so scary.
She was put inside of a Utica crib and shackled. A Utica crib is a human-sized trunk, like a trunk from old-timey days at the end of the bed.
Yeah.
But made out of a lot of rods, so you can like still see inside there.
Ew.
She was literally shackled inside of it and like kept in there until.
Okay, what's his name? Zimmerman? What's the guy?
That's not the hospital she was at. Zeller.
Oh, it was.
She was at a different hospital.
Okay, I was like, maybe he's not that great.
No. Her limbs grew weak, and she got like really like it's documented. There's pictures of her and like her in the Utica crib.
Oh my god.
She was finally transferred to Bartonville, thank God. And they had a really good relationship, Zeller and her.
Yeah.
Like, he studied her a lot, and she was very, like, accepting of him and let him, like, study her. And that's where she spent her final days. So she did end up having a happy ending. I also have a story from someone who went ghost hunting there.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So we're back on Zeller's side. That's so scary.
I am also confused because sometimes I think they try to spin that this asylum was actually bad and like people were getting waterboarded and shit, and like actually there's no real evidence about that.
Yeah, I mean that is common practice back at that time. They just like all the not natural, but like all the common practices were just basically neglecting torture for insane asylums.
And it wasn't at this one.
Well, that's good.
You ready?
No. You should have gone second.
This is an account of my run-in with the paranormal when I was visiting a place called Bartonville Asylum in Illinois.
I'm already cold.
And this was from Reddit user Kronos Dragon. This asylum is known for its mild supernatural activity, most notably the shadow people and the children.
What? Why are there children?
Shadow people are not inherently dangerous, this person says, and often just pass right by. The children are a small group of child ghosties, some having names and others remaining anonymous. Interesting. So, like, people who went at the time ghost hunting here. This was 9 years ago. When I visited, the tour group was trying to raise money and awareness of the asylum to help repair it and restore it because they were trying to take it down.
Yeah.
The building itself is quite pretty and needs a lot of work to make it safe, enough to become a landmark of the city. I managed to gather up some cash to visit this place and offer my support for their project. Upon starting the tour, we explored the main and second floors with very little activity, mostly just faint sounds of the building settling, water dripping from the pipes above. The whole place was cool and damp, with lots of mold and mildew on the ceilings and crumbling walls. Didn't smell bad, though, as you would normally associate with mildew. No, it was actually quite a pleasant atmosphere. It smelled like fresh water and damp concrete. This is spooky. I honestly was a little skeptical when I first walked in and didn't feel any sort of dark presences normally associated with ghost stories. We walked to the top floor, skipping the third floor because it needed repairs and was unstable. The top floor was basically a giant attic, and from what I was told, it was a common place for the doctors and nurses to hang out. There were a few marked-off areas where the floorboards were questionably stable, but other than that, it was just cool and drafty. It wasn't long before a couple of us started to get a weird feeling in our stomachs, akin to a mild belly ache. We didn't think anything of it at first, but it started to get worse for one lady, who stated that she wasn't feeling too well and would like to go back down. We all heard a mild distortion on the EMF readers, and it sounded almost like two women chatting. We decided that it was probably best to leave because they sounded rather upset already, and we didn't want to cause any more stomach upset. We headed down to the belly of the asylum, where the tour guide said she would introduce us to the children.
Ew.
She referred to them as a collective, and I soon learned why. We sat in the pitch darkness of the room for a while, the tour guide talking seemingly to thin air. Scattered across the floor were a few toys from previous visitors, like little stuffed lamb or a little toy car and 4 small rubber balls. Oh, God. The tour guide stated that the balls lit up if you kicked them hard enough, and to test this, I gave one of them a light punt. It took a good kick to really get the other one going, and it seemed to light up the room with pink and blue lights. We sat in silence for a while, just listening and enjoying the atmosphere. There was a very vague hint of light coming in from one end of the room, where a hole in the wall let a little bit of light from the outside come in. Things got a little exciting when one of the balls started to light up on its own accord. It was the first one that I had kicked, and we were all shocked. After sitting at a rest for several minutes, it decided to light up. I couldn't help but smile. This person's crazy. It's like, this is one of those people who's like, it was very, like, fine.
Yeah, it's like a love letter to the fucking demons in there. Not that there's demons, but, like, why are there children there?
I don't know, actually. I mean, I don't know that there couldn't have been children if you were, like, deemed incurably insane.
That's fair.
One of the ladies in the room got really excited and started asking if the children wanted to play.
Ew, horrible idea.
She rolled a ball across the floor, and when it came to a stop, it started to light up shortly after. Ew. It was the cutest thing.
Me on a ghost tour would be like, can you stop fucking touching stuff? Stop talking to them.
Shut the fuck up. I would have kicked this old lady.
Can we leave?
What do you mean she's getting excited by the thought of playing with the children ghosts?
This is why we're not ghost hunters.
Suddenly, everything went really quiet. The toys stopped flashing, and the children stopped responding to our little encouragements. We felt a heavy, dark presence.
Ew.
The tour guide pointed out a shadow on the wall, standing at the doorway that we had walked in from. I didn't see it at first, and then it moved with what could only be described as a limp. One of the ladies started to feel sick, so I offered her, it got like cut off. I think it probably says like I offered her a seat.
Yeah.
I didn't feel threatened by the entities, but I blame my previous encounters for that. Okay, so this person's a ghost hunter.
For sure.
Down toward the end of one of the hallways, we came across a large hole in the floor that led us to an underground tunnel. The tour guide told us that they discovered the tunnel not long after their initial inspection of the place and had maps to show that the tunnel system actually extended to other buildings that were part of the asylum at the time. From the deep darkness beyond the collapsed wall, I thought I heard a dog barking. It was faint and distant, and the tour guide said that this was a common occurrence. But no one had found any dogs or other animals larger than a raccoon. After that, we started to head back upstairs. We heard what could only be described as a deep chuckle before a chill draft swept up the staircase, followed by the sound of footsteps. The lady who had collapsed and was breathing hard was okay.
I'm sorry, she collapsed?
I guess so.
Like, what?
There was an old elevator shaft, and the tour guide actually opened the slat on the door that we could look in. It was creepy and smelled horrible. I'm not sure how to explain the smell, but it was similar to the smell of rotting fruit and urine.
So dead bodies.
Yeah. I saw that the shaft actually went down quite a bit further to the bottom floor. There was the last stop for the elevator as far as she knew, and there were no stairs going down any deeper. I could have sworn, though, that it looked like it went down to an even further floor. So they, went in there and had a jolly old fucking time.
I like that this tour guide kept chugging and was like, "You're okay. Let's go look at the abandoned shaft." Like, and this woman's like fighting for her life.
Literally fighting for her life. I'm wondering if the tour guide was just trying to. I wish I could have seen it. I wonder if the tour guide was just trying to push him along, or was I'm used to this. It's very casual.
For sure. And in my mind, the tour guide is literally homegrown tour guide, you know, they're like,
I love it.
They're like, we're gonna go on this tour, but we have to sneak through the security fence. You know what I mean?
And everybody's gonna be really quiet, and you're not gonna turn your flashlights on until I tell you.
Exactly. And when the police come, we all scatter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good. I've never been on. Yeah, that's not true. The one we went on in Seattle, it wasn't like that, but it was very
right,
just keep going.
Right, she's the tour guide. This is her thing, and she has worked out a deal with all these people. And there was that one part where no one was allowed to technically go by that book, right? And yeah, I feel like that's what this was. And I just like that this woman is literally not able to handle it, and she's like, "Let's keep going." And right through here, we're gonna suck it up.
Everybody's gonna clutch their pearls and hold their little breath, and we're gonna keep walking.
The fact that okay, it did sound like that person was pretty used to ghosts and stuff, but the fact that all the children stopped answering and stuff, and then everyone felt heavy and gross.
Yeah, it's the children scattered. It reminds me of my old home.
Yeah.
With the faceless children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I actually just think it was the demon.
Oh yeah, you don't.
Yeah, I think I said that on the episode that I think that the demon in my old house when I was a kid used to use those little kids to try to get me to get up and stuff. And interact with it.
Horrifying.
And I would just scream. I hated it. I did a bad job.
You're fucking put a face on them, you bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I literally it's so weird. Actually,
I feel like I was calling it out. I don't want that.
No, you don't.
No, you can do it. Leave. Stay at that house. I wonder how those people are.
You know what? Just today, I went to our page and I clicked the first episode, and it was literally on the spot where I was like, I don't remember what had them having any faces.
Yeah, that's so nasty.
And you were like, I knew you were gonna say that.
Of course.
I don't. I can describe what they were wearing.
I don't want to hear it. Could you draw it?
I could.
Stop.
They look more like dolls than kids.
Yeah, that's what I picture. Little voodoo or Amish dolls.
Yeah, they don't have fingers.
Oh.
It's the hands of a doll that
Ew, stop. Yeah, for sure it was the demon. Just this is what a kid looks like. You'll play with it. I want to go on that ghost tour. Sounds like she gets results. Okay. I did a little Minnesota gem since I was just up there. Thought that'd be cute. So I did the Mounds Theater in Minnesota, in St. Paul, Minnesota. This theater was built in 1922 as a cinema and vaudeville house.
This is the second time you've picked a theater. You did the Rialto Theater.
I feel honestly, theaters are always haunted. Okay, yeah, theaters do freak me out,
Mhm.
but like a lot of stuff happens there, and there's also just like a lot of lore around theaters anyway.
Mm.
So a vaudeville show, in case people wanted to know, is like a mix of shows. It's basically just like a performance stage. So it was home to like comedy shows, burlesque shows, song and dance shows. That's what vaudeville means. So that's what it was doing in 1922, as well as silent movies.
Mm.
It was operated by the Finkelstein and Rubens chain, which I did a little deep dive on them. And basically, they are famous for bringing like Minnesota or Minneapolis into like the current times. So
Mm.
they set up a large chain of theaters in Minnesota. And it was really successful, and it gave access to like movies and entertainment that at the time was really only happening in like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago.
Okay. And
So-
Minneapolis.
and also Minneapolis.
Famously.
They're right there, number 4 in
Neck
line.
and neck. You know, I always consider it.
The
I've
top
never
4.
considered it.
So this theater was going pretty strong, but it did close down in the mid 1960s and stood as basically this warehouse to this like old guy
Mm.
who kept just like old organ pipes in there, basically.
Sick.
Yeah.
Classically.
And then it was bought and started to be restored in 2001 for like a children's performance community center. And now they do other
More
stuff.
children.
Yeah, the children aren't. Well, there's a scary child in here, of course. But an interesting thing is when restoration began, they found like candy wrappers and popcorn boxes from like 1967. Yeah, like there was still popcorn on the floor. Yeah, nasty. Whoever bought it like did not handle it well. Okay, so that's basically it. So there's 3 main ghosts. So I've got ghost stories and like firsthand accounts, but I also have like a general guest like
Right.
overview. So I guess I'll go through the overview. There's 3 main ghosts people see. The first one is a little girl. And she is most famously on the theater. She's on the stage bouncing a ball.
Okay.
Many people see her there. There's a man named Red, a male spirit, who's has been seen, mostly heard for vulgar language and like interaction. So like touching,
Mostly
throwing
heard is
things.
crazy.
Yeah. And then there's this guy, and I don't know his name, but he is basically a like usher, and it's said that he's
Classic.
looking for his long lost love, which is weird.
He's an
because
usher and also looking for his long lost love.
He's got a lot to do in the afterlife, basically.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
Please rest. So, the woman who bought the building in 2001, some places that I saw said her name was Ruth. Other people said her name was Jackie. I'm going to go with Ruth. She has heard and seen many things. And she has invited a lot of ghost hunters, psychics, and mediums to come and investigate the space. She has sat with quite a few of the ghost hunting teams.
She's an expert.
She is. Oh, she loves it. She will go on anything. She invites people, all the good stuff. So she herself has seen the little girl standing on the stage, bouncing the ball. She has bumped into the usher while he's walking the aisles.
That's my hell.
Literally. I don't like theaters.
I literally just got chills thinking about like you bump. I mean, he probably was cold when she bumped him too. Like,
well, for sure, and like it's not a huge theater; it's very much a small.
And you're alone. You
theater.
think you're alone in the theater. You bump it. Not only bumping into somebody in a theater, but when you're by yourself is already like, what are the fucking odds?
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
And then horrifying because it's somebody else is in here.
You're like, oh, sorry, and there's no one
one
there,
there.
and you're like, oh, sorry.
I would have ran out screaming. That's worst case scenario is I like physically bump into something that's not there.
Well, and like you think about a theater, there's so many different rooms, so running out screaming, it takes a while.
And it's like, oh.
Exactly. Like there's so much time for that ghost to be
Yeah.
chasing you. So she led a party of 4 Ghostbusters, is what they called themselves.
It's just ghost adventures.
I think she called them Ghostbusters. It was really like the Minnesota Paranormal Society.
It was Ghoul Beans.
It was us. I was there. And they stayed the night, and she was part of it. And they went up into the projection room.
Above the auditorium.
Yeah, I liked it. And they sat in the dark, and it was in October. And they turned out the lights, and they were just chilling. And then I guess it got like really cold. And then all at once, there was a noise coming from behind the partition. This is a quote. The noise appeared to be a man crying. In between the sobbing, we could hear him cursing in a most vile manner. Which, like, horrible.
Ew, I'm getting spooky tears.
A
man? Wait. How distinct that it's I'm like, my eyes are watering.
I peered through the darkness, and in a swirling cloud of mist, my eyes fell on a man slumbered in the corner. Ruth said the man slowly lifted his head and stared directly at her.
Bye.
Quote again. His eyes were black, glittering in their swollen sockets. I could feel his anger welling up inside of him, and I knew we were not welcome there. She then goes on to say that they ended the session right then and there and left before they felt it was too late. Like they felt, they felt they had a certain amount of time to leave, and they took that opportunity.
Mine would have been upon hearing the man crying.
I mean, think about it.
Could you sit there and deal with the guy crying and fucking whimpering and being like, fucking.
Literally, honestly, that's almost vomited onto the microphone.
The sound I just did.
Yeah, because in my head, I'm like, what does crying and like swearing sound like together and stuff? And it's I just heard it and I vomited. You could do it.
Okay. It's like, I imagine it's like,
literally. No, that's so gross. Oh my God, stop. So I know you stopped already. So my thing is like, they were sitting there in the dark, chilling. No, chilling. And nothing was happening.
Chilling, what does that mean? Like sitting and scared?
Just sitting and waiting, you know? No. And then randomly, just at some point, you start to hear whimpering and then the swearing. Like, that is so vile.
Think about being in like, going to even like a modern day haunted movie theater, right? And you can guarantee that you're the only two in there. Like they had the lights on, they cleaned everything out for you. You're going in there, you sit in there, and you fucking turn the lights off.
I wouldn't.
Again, this is not relatable because it would never happen to me. But also, if it did happen to me, the first I'd be like, bye.
Bye. I'd be like, was that you? You'd be like, what? And I'd be like, bye.
My phone flashlight would have been literally like. I would have been screaming. I would have fucking pepper sprayed us all. Like, I can't.
No, I completely agree. And, like, imagine being the person closest to whatever that partition was.
No.
Because you know they're the farthest from the door. They're like, I guess I'll take the seat in the corner.
Were they at the stage line, or were they, like, in the good seats that are
No, they were up in the small projection booth. Yeah, that's where he, like, hovers.
My mouth is open. I totally forgot that they weren't in the actual seats, which, honestly, is not as bad. Being in the main seats is way worse than being in the projection room above the auditorium.
It's so enclosed.
How is it? One way in, one way out?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I would not have been that far from the door.
I would have been outside the door.
I wouldn't have gone in.
I would have been alone. I would have been against the door.
I need to be in daylight.
My hand on the light switch, ready at any moment.
Yeah, like pincing it.
Try me. Flicking it just to make sure.
No, because I wouldn't be saw it for a second.
Oh my, ma'am? How dare you put that image in my brain?
Because that's like a classic movie trope where you like flickering the lights and you see it for a second.
Ew. I like literally picture a man like hunched in the corner. Because that's what she said. She said she saw it.
This is like how I had that like premonition
dream of like looked into his eyes. And they were
Again, not
glittering black.
relatable to me.
Ew. Okay. A man slumped in the corner.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That said naked.
A naked white man?
Not in this.
Is it a naked white man?
He's coming!
Full bush.
Oh my god. Okay. Ruth
No,
isn't done.
I'm not ready to move on from
Okay,
that.
please.
You're in.
Everything about it, when I was reading it and I was like, oh, that's a really good one. I definitely have to say that. But like reading it and actually processing it, I'm
The projection room
upset.
is so small in any given space, especially in these old-timey theaters. There's almost no, there is no daylight. And it's really made for 2 people.
Yeah.
And you already got, what, is it 3 of them in there?
4.
It's 4. It's double the amount of people you're supposed to have.
Well, technically 5 because she was there too.
And Schlumped is 6. Schlumpy was
His name's
there.
Red.
Red, the Schlump, was in the corner.
That's so gross. Why was he crying?
I don't know, but they said he was known to be, vulgar.
He was known to be vulgar, he's thrown stuff at women before. Doesn't like women. Classic man.
Classic.
Okay, so Ruth has another experience. She said, I was in here one night alone, and when I turned on the alarm and got ready to leave, something put its hand on my shoulder. It didn't want me to leave. I left.
Right.
Good for you. Horrifying, right?
So far, that's the only correct response.
Right. No. I can't believe she stared into his eyes. That literally makes me nauseous.
This is a very specific thing that differentiates us from a lot of other podcasts, because a lot of other podcasts would be like, that's so scary. What would you have done? And we're like, I would not have been in that room.
Right. Already you're dumb.
I would have taken a tour of the theater. They would have dimly
Absolutely.
lit it. It would have been spooky. You would have been like, oh, did you hear that? But I would have never fucking volunteered to go into the auditorium, into projection room with all of us in there, close the door, turn the lights off.
What if you were there alone?
No. I wouldn't be there alone.
What if...
I'd have a fog light.
What if we were on the other side of the door, right? They're like,
No.
oh, who wants to go in alone and sit there and see if you see anything?
No. Not going. I'd be like, you'd have to pay me
How much?
$50.
That's not a lot.
That's
To see Schlump in the corner, what's he starts getting up?
First of all, how long do I have to be in there? That's gonna change my price.
I don't know. I don't know how long it takes for him to get mad.
1 minute, $50.
How about 10 minutes?
$3,000.
That's quite a jump.
I don't give a fuck. That's enough for him to jump me.
That's
So
fair. That's fair. Ew. I hate it.
how long could you get paid to do 1 minute?
Honestly, probably nothing.
You would go in there for 1 minute with the lights off?
No, ma'am. I would not go in there for any amount of money.
Oh. You're like, I would do it for free.
Oh.
That's what I thought you were trying to say. I'm like,
No.
okay, bitch.
No,
Let's see it.
I don't think I would be able to physically put myself in the room.
I know we would approach it, and I would have to be like, I'm actually done now. Because I've heard the tales.
I've spent the $3,000 and I'm leaving.
And Ruth is like, you don't want to go in the projection room?
You think Ruth's old?
She's not.
I have no idea.
Ruth's old as dirt.
Okay, Ruth is the man in the corner.
She put on a vaudeville show. That's part of it.
Oh my god.
She's an icon, a legend, and she is the moment.
So, a retired engineer, Kasumi, described...
What?
What part do you want me to repeat?
The whole sentence. For 1,000, Kelly.
A retired engineer that used to work there, named Kasumi.
Kasumi. Well, how's it spelled, Queen?
Cosimi. Kasumi?
Kasumi.
Oh, so the very first thing I said.
Yeah, it is. Kasumi.
Describes himself as a complete skeptic, but has admitted to hearing things and seeing things out of the corner of his eye.
Fucking Tony.
Such an old man. I've seen some stuff.
I've been some places.
But
I've smelled some smells.
certainly smelled some smells. The police chief of St. Paul in 2001 said they have been called there many times, and he himself has seen flashing lights coming out of the projection booth.
I don't care about him.
All right, that's fine. 2 images were taken of the stage from an investigation, and again, like it's usually just
Minnesota
people.
Paranormal Society.
Yeah, they also
investigators.
run tours, so it could have been from there. In one image, you can see a man sitting in the audience, and he has a bald head, but like no one's there, obviously. And in the other, it's of a completely empty stage, and you can see the slight image of a bushy-haired man leaning behind a counter, all of which are not on the stage.
There's like so many haunted theaters in Minnesota.
I just feel like every theater's haunted, honestly. That's the vibe I get
Even
from
the
them.
AMCs.
Especially
Mostly
the
the
AMCs. So this is a collection of investigators' stories.
Heard.
So Mary is what they have named the little girl.
Sick, disgusting, nasty, horrible.
Yeah. She is
Mary and Sarah.
oh yeah, horrible names.
Sorry, Mary and Sarah.
Sorry, Sarah Mary. Sarah Mary Jones.
Sarah Plain and Tall.
So there was a 6-year-old girl that was murdered in the basement of this theater. And her body was found naked in the dumbwaiter in 1957.
She was definitely. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. So they
Oh my
believe that the
God.
little girl ghost, because it's such a presence there,
Jesus.
they believe that she is one of the, like, she is the little girl ghost. There was also a picture of, like, the dumbwaiter, and someone took it, and there was, like, weird blotches on it. Like, not blood or anything, but, like, on the photo.
Stain.
Orbs. She is known to giggle, hold people's hands, play with people's shoestrings, and if you're happy and you know it, she will either sing with you or clap. Like, how horrible.
I mean,
like,
that's
I'm
where The Conjuring got it, for
so
sure.
sorry. Oh, for sure. I see your tears.
Because I was like, I mean, I'm still obviously very like Team Mary.
Right, like
Like,
it
hold my
sucks.
hand, girl.
Yeah.
Like that. Honestly, I would be like, something's on my hand, but I wouldn't be as freaked out because I'm like, oh, it's this little girl who was really like 12. And it's also fucked up that real world ghost rules. Why does she have to be there?
I know. Why
Like, her
can't
fucking
she,
assaulter should be like
trapped forever.
like the Drake Hotel, the lady in black
Yeah.
who killed that mom and daughter. She's strapped. She's like there forever.
And I think that's cool. I think when you told that story, I was like, that makes no sense. But honestly, that's beautiful karma. Like, you're fucking stuck here.
Yeah, like I think that.
Right. Mary should be in, like, Nirvana. So one investigator asked if she wanted to play with a ball. She asked the ghost. And rolled it across the stage while they were sitting on the stage. It went quiet when the group heard something like a stone being thrown down onto the stage. Nasty. As they were looking for the stone, the stage lights, it was completely dark when they were in there. The stage lights went up and went back off. Everyone in the building was on that stage.
I'm feeling like nauseous. Because like that, it's the projection room. I'm getting scary tears. The projection room is so fucking haunted.
Oh, for sure.
It's just the projection room, actually.
It's just him.
Ew. Everyone, imagine, and then like looking around and being like, who's not here? Your first thought is like, who the fuck, which one of us is up there? Who did that? You know? That's your first thought, is to be like, okay, which one? Be like, and then
counting.
me slowly getting off the theater stage.
She's like, I gotta go, guys. My mom called. It's time for dinner.
Gotta dip.
Later that same night, the same investigator who asked the little girl if she wanted to play was sitting in a chair near where the ball had rolled, and it moved as if someone bumped into it, but she was the only one over there.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Very casual.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, Red was the ghost that has been known to touch people, get mad.
Mutter.
Yeah. So, a volunteer, which was actually kind of weird, she was like kind of boasting about her relationship with Red and was saying that like she hears him swear a lot. They like joke around a lot. So she'll be like, "Oh,
Okay.
swear for me," blah blah blah. And
You're
he'll
in love
swear.
with Red.
And she said that he often like touches her, and she used the word grope, which I
You like
dislike.
it. Is this Ruth?
No, it's a volunteer that works
The
there.
volunteer is attracted to Red, the schlumped man.
Literally. But several people have confirmed like having things thrown at them. Well, I think one woman got like something thrown at her. But a lot of people have confirmed that like they've been touched by a ghost. Not inappropriately. This woman.
This
maybe.
woman. It's not inappropriate for her.
She loves it.
Well, what if she doesn't? Let me not.
She said she was just like, he likes to touch a lot of people, and I'm one that he touches a lot. And so it honestly sounded pretty disgusting.
You're weird.
I was like, this is a diary entry. And
I
you should
feel
have kept it to
sick.
yourself.
You could not have fucking waterboarded that information out of me. You went there with the intention of getting a little busy with little Red.
Literally. She's like, it's been a while.
Oh. Do you know there's like a whole community of people that want to fuck a ghost so bad?
Yeah, we've had this discussion.
Have we?
Yeah.
I would never.
asked you, that was not your answer the first time we had this conversation.
Had this
You're
podcast
like,
for a long time.
absolutely.
Roll the clip.
I will. I will find it. and
Insert
roll
the
it
clip.
for you. It's going to be you like, I'd fuck a ghost. That's what's going to come up.
And I feel differently now.
Yeah?
I think I've had the pod long enough where I'm like, no.
No, ma'am. You think inviting it into your home is bad. You're inviting it into your body.
I didn't invite shit. But if the opportunity had presented itself, that's what I said. Insert the clip.
All of a sudden you remember saying it.
I don't. I'm hoping that's what I said. I don't fucking remember that. I
rolled
probably
the
did
clip
say
and
fuck
you're
ghost.
like, I have fucked a ghost.
This is my fucked ghost. Come on in. Literally.
Oh my God. An investigator caught an EVP in the booth where Red is known to hang out.
Yeah, I fucking bet.
They asked, what's going on in here? And a male voice said, you're overwhelming me. Which, like,
honestly, pop off. Like, yeah, been there. Will be there again.
I'm there right now.
He didn't have the ability to, like, or the verbiage to say overstimulating. Red's overstimulated. Although he overstimulated the fuck out of, well, not over. He stimulated the fuck out of somebody. But the whispering, the muttering, and the swearing.
Obviously, he's overstimulated. Give him a break. Damn. And so for the final thing that's happened there were a group of investigators that went into the basement, which is the same place where the body was found. And I guess they were told to leave, or they felt like they really had to get out. And as they were leaving, someone got scratched. And when they looked, it was a huge claw marks down their back.
That's not scratch.
No.
Clawed.
They were clawed.
It's the pitchfork again.
Yeah.
Like slowly drag it.
And yeah, so that.
What if it was tic-tac-toe?
I pray to God the O's won. The X's? That
they
has to
me.
be a bad sign.
Come on, give me that one.
I liked it. So plays and performances are still currently held here.
Oh my God.
It can be rented out for events. Hello, wedding venue.
Hello.
Hello. Red will officiate. They offer ghost tours on their site, and Halloween is when they regularly have ghost tours. So for anyone in the Minnesota area, St. Paul, this is the Mounds Theater, and go get groped by a ghost.
Wow. No, I'm glad you went second. That was really good.
Ah, thank you.
Spooky. Hated the singing.
Yeah, the happy and you know it
is
and
the worst
like,
part.
What's worse, her clapping at the end, or all of a sudden hearing a child singing with you?
Yeah, clapping, but also what's worst is Red.
For sure.
The horrible.
Yeah. No, yeah, shit. I don't like that. It's definitely the, you okay? It's definitely the sitting in a quiet room and then all of a sudden, like, everything happening at once.
Yeah, or being on stage with the light turned on.
Honestly,
That's really bad. Because when the light comes on when you're on stage, it's actually blinding.
oh yeah, and the fact that everyone's there. No, it's horrible. Well, great. This was a lovely podcast episode. Local lore. If anyone has anywhere they want to hear about, they know of a cool haunted place, you have ghost stories, please send it in to ghoulbeanspodcast@gmail.com.
If you want to follow us on any social media, we are on Instagram and Facebook, but mostly Instagram.
Yeah, at ghoulbeanspodcast.
Yeah, DM us. Send us a little something.
Yeah, just talk to us.
Tell us about like your own ghost stories.
People
like,
you know.
People you know, people you want us to roast or ghost.
Yeah.
Any coffee recommendations?
Definitely, especially around just like the Chicago area, suburbs.
Yeah.
We will drive.
We will drive.
I'll go to Wisconsin for like a dope ass cup of coffee. But it better be really good. And it must be like southern Wisconsin because I don't want to drive that far.
Not for a day.
Yeah.
But for like a trip.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We're going to Indiana soon. Tell us anywhere near the border of Indiana.
Around South Bend-ish.
Yuck.
Let us know.
But yeah, just reach out and like us and rate us on wherever you listen to podcasts.
So thank you for joining.
And spilling the ghoul beans.
Perfect.